Hey you guys, welcome back. Today is a warmer, maybe the start of spring day. It's the end of February here in North Florida and it's finally starting to feel good. And I don't have any huge plans for today except for I have a whole bunch of homestead and garden chores that a bunch of little random things that I need to get done. So I figured I would just take you along with me. Wow, look how beautiful everything is looking. All the calendula are really starting to bloom and come into full. I think maybe I'll make a little floral bouquet today as well, just because how can you not when everything is looking this beautiful. The other day I saw a little bee sleeping in the calendula, which is so cute. I just saw a bee just pass by just then too, so I'm starting to see bees again. That's really neat. Wow, isn't that pretty? Oh, and look how cool this is. This is my first time ever growing purple cauliflower. I don't know if you can, let me see if I can shade it. I can get in there. Isn't that so pretty? Getting kind of big, not ready yet. And the flowers still look really tight, which is good. Once they start kind of breaking apart and the head starts loosening up, it's definitely, you know, needs to be harvested. You want the head to still be kind of tight. So as long as it's not loosening up, it still has time to continue to grow. Like, so this is some broccoli over here, which this needs to be harvested today because you can see this is really loose. It looks like it's gonna start trying to flower any day now. So I need to go ahead and harvest some of these heads. Even though they're small, they need to go ahead and be harvested. This one still looks kind of tight, but I also need to kind of trellis up the peas. They're getting a little wild and just kind of help them stay up. I need to cut out all of these dried dead tomatoes in here, and I definitely am past time for harvesting a lot of these kohlrabi. I need to harvest these. Look how huge this one is down here. I was really scared to harvest any of the kohlrabi because I was waiting on the gardener supply shoot, which now has been moved to March. So I just didn't want it to ruin it's like right here in the front, so I feel like that would have ruined any sort of pictures or anything, so I was scared to harvest it. So today I am definitely going to harvest it. I have some lettuces that I'm about to pull to harden off, which I think I will replace, or flowers or anything else. I have stuff that I can put here and kind of remove these now. So time to get these harvested. I'm gonna take off all the greens and give those to my chickens. So basically, to prepare and use the kohlrabi, you take off all of the leaves and then you have to kind of skin and peel this outer skin. It's like a really thick skin, and then it kind of tastes, it's kind of like, to me, like a mixture of cabbage and an apple. Just an apple kind of more in the texture, but more cabbagey in the taste. So I know that's kind of hard to explain or imagine, but that's kind of how I think of kohlrabi. They're very cool little plants. Look at this purple one. They look like little alien vegetables to me. They're very interesting looking. So I think they're really good in stir fries, and I think they'd also be really good fermented slices, to pickle them kind of through fermentation or just pickling. So very delicious. I really like them. So I've also talked before too about how I do kind of no-dig, no-till methods even in my raised beds. So anytime a plant is dead or needs to come out, I don't pull it out, I just cut it off at the roots and let the rest of the plant decompose in the soil to continue to feed that soil life. So I cut them out, I don't pull anything out, especially if it were something like beans. You're gonna have all of that nitrogen that it helps put in the soil, so you don't want to take that out. don't want to let your kohlrabi get to this size. It's more like a baseball size. It's probably, I would say, roughly. This is a little on the large size, so this might, I'm not sure how this is going to taste, but this one, I don't know if you can see it right here. This one is a pretty good size. This one's a little small, but I'm still going to harvest all these today anyway so that I can empty out this space. But this is about the size you really want. Okay, so I got this bed cleared. Here is the chicken pile. They're gonna be so happy. I get enough greens. I have all this kale, all this other greens. I don't need this many greens for cooking, so these are all gonna go to the chicken. You could also compost them, but I haven't set up a compost pile here yet. I really need to do that. Here is all the kohlrabi. See if I can get it. You see it? All the different kohlrabi heads, some broccoli heads. Now I need to get some lettuce out of this bed that's starting to encroach on the beets, and overall I'm just going to start making space for stuff. This would be a perfect time to come through, especially because these kales are pretty high, and you can see the soil level, since these are new beds, has really dropped, to come through and really amend thickly with some fresh compost on top of this bed before I replant. So I think I might do that too. While it's pretty empty. So this lettuce has grown so slowly this year, but now that it's starting to head up, it is just looking so beautiful. It just grew really slow, but it is making the most beautiful heads. So up until it gets to this point, I do the cut and come again method. So I just remove the outer bottommost leaves and use all of those for salads, and just keep doing that to let the plants continue to grow. But now these are really fully heading up, even all of my romaines, and they're probably going to bolt pretty soon. So I need to go ahead and start harvesting full heads, which again will make space for new plants. Looney, what are you eating? Did you find some food? Yes, ma'am. Look at this just beautiful head of lettuce. I think this is called Trucas. I could be wrong, but it's beautiful, and I love the texture and the way it is. It's like peaches. Get out of there. You can tell the cilantro is about to bolt and flower too, but I'm just gonna leave it and let it flower, and then the seeds, you can save the coriander seeds and use those for cooking. So I'm just gonna let it fully flower and go to seed. It's also a really great pollinator, a first attractor for bees and butterflies into the garden as we're moving into spring, and it also makes really pretty little white flowers that I like to put in bouquets too. So that'll stay. I wonder if the ones over here are starting to bolt. Yes, they're starting to bolt too. Cilantro bolts pretty quickly, so you just have to kind of keep steady batches of it going to keep it from bolting. Look at this borage. So pretty. It's hard to beat those cute little blue flowers. So I've also been coming in and sporadically kind of harvesting some carrots out of here. They're not full size, but they're definitely big enough for eating. So let's see if you can see. Wow, so this is cosmic purple. So it's got like a purple outside, and then when you slice it, it's orange on the inside. Very, very beautiful carrot. Look at that already. It's pretty nice. Wow. Look at that, you guys. Aren't those so pretty? This one's actually pretty good size, so they're starting to definitely get pretty good size. The yellow ones I've always noticed have grown a little bit slower than everything else, but they're also tucked in the middle of all the carrots, so I think I need a bigger basket. Really need to get in here and clean out the coop, I think, too. It's looking pretty gross. I've also discovered that I have an egg eater. Someone's eating eggs, and I think it's my speckled Sussex cinnamon, so may have to deal with that situation soon. Alright, you guys, I'm in the kitchen and I just want to show you what all I just harvested out of the garden. I got the blue curled Scotch kale, which I will probably wash and use for some salads during the week. So I also have this Cilantro purple dino kale, a huge batch of it, which I will probably wash and freeze because I want to make sure that I have enough for when summer rolls around, because these are all things that I'm not going to be able to grow when it starts even getting very hot spring. So it gets very hot here, and these are things that we cannot grow in the spring and summer necessarily, or at least I can't where I'm at. And so I just like to have a lot of it frozen and on hand. I have some little broccoli heads. This is a watermelon radish, so when you cut it up on the inside, it's got very pretty red and green, kind of looks like a watermelon. Some more broccoli, all the different carrots, a bunch of kohlrabi hidden under there, a head of lettuce also to chop up and use for salads for the week. Also, if you don't have any sort of disease or anything on your carrot tops, you can use them to make like a pesto. Definitely edible as well. And then all of these beautiful calendula to use for some bouquets, or you can also use them for drying for your teas and stuff. I have, this is I think, I forget what different kinds I grew this year. I think one is a flashback mix possibly, or a zeolites mix, and then some snow princess, I think is that one. I also know I did Pacific Beauty mix. Just look at all these different colors. A bunch of different types of calendula. Even the undersides are pretty. They just a little fiery. I also picked some cilantro, which I'll put in the bouquets with the calendula, and it'll help kind of keep the cilantro fresh, so I can just pull it out of the bouquet as I want to use some of the cilantro. And then I also just got some pea shoots to put in with the bouquets as well. professional florist, anything, but this is how I like to lay out my flowers so that I can tell what all I have. And I also like to kind of skin the bottoms. So I don't have as much texture or filler as I would like because there's not that much available yet, but I don't think it'll be really tricky. Like I said, I'm definitely not a florist by any means, but I do like to make a little bouquet. I kind of focus on my main flowers and then kind of build the rest of it around that with some different textures and things. So you can even use your veggies like the peas. This is another little, I love this little vase. I need to go add water to all these very quickly. So pretty. And then just a little simple mason jar. So beautiful. Nice and fresh. Doesn't that look so cute? So I decided to put this one up here by the window since this doesn't hold as much water. I'm gonna have to fill it up pretty frequently, so I think it'll look cute by the window. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me today, harvesting a bunch of vegetables in the garden. It actually took a lot longer than I thought it would to get all those vegetables, clean them, and then put them all up. So not as many chores got done today as I anticipated, but I hope you enjoyed harvesting and doing all that with me in the garden, and I will see you so soon. Bye, guys.